welcome back to another episode of Pick Fiends. Of course, I don't know, what is it, 21? Is it really 21, isn't it? I don't know. We'll see. Depending if I ever get those encrypted videos back, we'll see what number episode this is. But we'll call it 21. And I think this is a record. I think this is the first episode Richie Bentz is not on. He's taking a little vacation. I told him take it easy, relax, get his mind right for the playoffs. Last year, when we first started doing this, just me and him, he laid out the best pick of all time, and it's a shame that we have no viewers because he could have put out so much money. It was ridiculous. He it before the play, like the first week of the playoffs, he said, "I'm betting Cooper Cup, Super Bowl MVP." It was ridiculous. It was like plus 25,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So, he hit pretty big on that. So, it's a shame, but at the same time, Richie's a trooper. He deserves a week off. So, let's get in. Let's talk a little NFL news. Why we have a Richie free podcast right now. Let's talk a little NFL news. I guess we'll start. Off the hit. I just read Sean McVay is coming back to the Rams. I know that was big. Up in the air. His tenure with the Rams, was he gonna maybe take a job in media or in the booth or something, calling games, announcing, or was he gonna come back? He has officially come out and said he was coming back, even though last week they did openly give all staff permission to go seek other jobs if they like. That's not a uncommon occurrence, but it was just it coincidental to the news of McVay possibly not coming back. But he's coming back for another season, so we'll see what happens. But some other coach openings we have. I think the biggest one, maybe people will view it as a shocker. I think I've been calling it for like 7 episodes now. Cliff Kingsbury and the Arizona Cardinals parted ways. Who else do we got? Lovie Smith was let go by the Texans. Obviously, the Carolina Panthers already and the Indianapolis Colts already had interims. So they're 2 open jobs. Is there anybody else we're missing?
Broncos.
Of course, Broncos. Yep, Broncos fired Nathaniel Hackett earlier in the season. Obviously, the white whale of this whole situation is Sean Payton, whose contract is still currently owned by the New Orleans Saints, and they've kind of put it out to the press that they'd be seeking like a first-round pick at least compensation to get his contract. The rumor was always the long-standing rumor was that Sean Payton was either going to Dallas or he was going to the Chargers. Once either Staley with the Chargers or McCarthy with the Cowboys got axed, and it sounds like he's taken some interviews with Arizona and Denver.
McCarthy's still like next. Depends on how this team goes.
I doubt it. We'll get into that, but I doubt it. Obviously, there's been a whirlwind of coaches that have already taken interviews and or will be taking interviews. Offense, defensive coordinators, quarterbacks, coaches, other position coaches. There you could name probably 50 right now. But with not, I think this is probably a down year for openings. I think the average is normally like 6 or 7, and I think we're at 5 right now. And what did we have?
Potential.
We had, I guess there's still potential, but at this point, I doubt it. I very highly doubt it, especially because for the second year in a row now, you could touch on this better, Dolan, but for the second year in a row now, both offense and defensive coordinators for Dallas are getting looks other places. So I think it would be hard to move on from McCarthy and try to keep one of those. At this point, like, who knows? Denver could offer Dan Quinn. I think he was in their like final 3 last year. He might have even been in their final 2 with Hackett, if I remember. But like, who's to stop him from taking a Denver job and telling Moore to go out to like Carolina or something, and then you're completely starting from scratch. Whereas at least you have McCarthy still the face of it, the running the show, and I just think it's a bad time. I think of course if the Cowboys did make the playoffs, you could probably talk about should McCarthy be here or not, but I don't think there should be any conversation. Now, of course, the X factor of that is probably Jerry Jones. So who knows what Jerry wants to do. but I would say outsider opinion, I would say it's like 80-20 McCarthy's coming back. I would say they would have to something seriously like bad would have to happen in the Tampa Bay game for him
I
not to
think
come back.
Tom Brady wins and Dak throws like 2 picks.
Yeah, but
Or
even
pick
that
six.
shouldn't get him fired. I think that I would think that something that would get him fired would be like I don't know, like a timeout situation, or we
Or
got
challenge.
bad clock man. Yeah, something like bad on his part, something blatantly like bad on his part, and that costs them the game. That you could
But
undoubtedly say, hey, this moment like really cost them the game more than
all right,
anything
yeah,
else.
but what if they go out there and they Tampa Bay puts like 30 on them, 30-0.
I mean,
Gotta
I still
go.
don't think so.
If we get blown out, I can see him get next.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna, but we'll get
That's
into
what
our
I'm
picks.
saying.
We'll get into our picks in a little bit here. Early coaching predictions. A lot of talk. This isn't a former head coach, Cliff Kingsbury, who is like noted to be like very, very wealthy outside of football. Has made a lot of money in football, but very wealthy outside of football. And he's sitting on like 5 years still guaranteed
Yeah,
with the Cardinals. Like certainly doesn't need to go get another
like
coaching job.
6 to 8 mil a year.
Yeah, like there's already rumors out there saying that he might be the guy in New England. New England has openly put out that they're going to hire an offensive coordinator this offseason. I personally think it would be a great fit. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think it's too outside the box. The Patriots like to promote from within. Patriots traditionally running a tight scheme, two tight ends, two backs sometimes, you know what I mean? Like they're Cliff Kingsbury is going to come in there and spread everything out, which I don't know if, Bill Belichick and the rest of the staff is going to be so open to right away, but who knows? Um, and that would certainly be a good spot for him to try to bounce back and land somewhere else as a head coach. Um, but I don't know what to think about Denver at all. I don't know what to think about the Colts at all. I don't think Jeff Saturday's coming back. A lot of people are like, bring Jeff Saturday back. I don't think anything personally. He was in a bad scenario before he got there. Like nobody really could have done a good job in that scenario.
No,
I mean, obviously he had his flaws. Every coach has their flaws when they start, especially when you get thrown into
I don't know.
that kind of scenario.
I don't know. I think a lot of coaches won't get blown out by or blow a 30-point lead.
Buddy, like I said, stranger things have happened. I mean, people forget, Dan Quinn is one of the most like renowned minds on the defensive side of the football, and Tom Brady, came back on the grandest stage of them all. What was it, like 28-3 or something? Like, come on. Shit happened. And not to mention that the Colts were already a bad team before Jeff Saturday got there.
DQ's gonna get his revenge Monday.
Fair, that's fair enough. We're gonna get into that then, but other coaching, things I have no idea. Carolina, who knows what they're gonna do? They should probably just keep Steve Wilkes, their interim. They were rolling good at the end of the season. If they would have played like that the whole season, they would have won their division. With freaking Sam Darnold. And what's the other one I'm missing? Oh, the Texans. The Texans, who the hell knows? Nobody saw Lovie Smith coming last year. I'm 100% on board though. Lovie Smith got fired because he went for 2 and won that game.
Yeah. I think he got fired because he won.
I think if they just straight up win that game in overtime, I think there's a chance Lovie Smith might be there this next year. I think Lovie might have been tipped off to he's getting fired. And he was like, fuck this place. I'm gonna win this game right here, right now,
Yeah.
And I think that's how that went. But anyway, that's all speculation. But obviously way too early. Most coaches probably won't even get hired till after the Super Bowl. The new league year, I don't know if that matters coaching wise, probably doesn't. But the new league year is until like February 14th or something like that. Anyway, so other little bits of news. Before we're going to talk about the All Pro team that just came out today or yesterday. I don't remember. It was there when I woke up this morning. Put it that way. Derek Carr and the Raiders seem like they're going to part ways. He put out a big emotional thing. Maybe I'll edit it in here. I don't know if I have time. But it basically looked like they're going to try to trade him, and he has like a $40 million cap hit every year for the next like 2 years, 3 years. So who knows what the hell is going to happen there. And like I said, that's really the only reason I knew that the new league date is like mid-February, because if you're trying to trade him now, which it already seems like they're working, it's been done before, but who's to say the Andrew Luck factor happens and Derek Carr is out skiing and he hurts his shoulder or something, and they have this trade in place with somebody else. Obviously everybody just wants to jump out and say, "Oh no, it won't happen," but like we've seen it. It's happened a lot like the last couple of years. Last year's was Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz got dealt to Washington from Indianapolis before the Super Bowl even happened. Like that was out there, that the deal was done. So obviously, like I said, stranger things have happened though. But that is what it is. Let's get to the all pro team. If you guys don't have anything other that would be newsworthy, let me pull it up here. I haven't really seen much criticism of this. I know, obviously everybody's a critic, but I haven't really seen any criticism on major, even like the hot take artists. The Skip Bayless, the Stevie A, whoever the hell's on first take with Stephen A. Smitty's boy Shannon.
Yep, that's my guy, Shay Shay.
Pull this up here. All right, let's start. First team quarterback Patrick Mahomes. That's the right answer.
Yeah.
First team running back Josh Jacobs, absolutely deserved. I'll argue that one with anybody. Travis Kelce, tight end, obvious. Receivers. Here, I have a little bit of criticism on this one. It's Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and Devontae Adams.
You know what it is?
What?
So I probably already know what your criticism is.
What is it?
It's got to be the guy AJ Brown.
No. I don't even have a guy specifically that I would put there, but my criticism is of Devontae Adams. Now, obviously, I think Devontae Adams is a top 5 receiver in the league, but like, did he do enough to be, you know what I mean? He had an incredible last 4 games with a backup quarterback for 2 of them, but I just don't think over the course of the season did he do enough, to put himself on.
I don't think so either. I'm putting AJ Brown in over Devontae.
Maybe AJ is one of those guys, but I think there's definitely guys in the league that you could look at and be like, they have a gripe to say they did just as much. Obviously Jefferson and Hill. Hard to argue against.
Those are locks. Those are locks.
Next, the offensive line, left tackle Trent Williams, can't argue with that. Right tackle Lane Johnson. Excuse me, I could see people arguing that because he didn't play those last 2 games this season.
I don't think there should be an argument there.
I don't know. If you look, he's number 1 against the pass rush and number 2 against.
I wouldn't argue.
He's on a 112 snap streak or something of not giving up a sack right now. Mm-hmm. Currently at 32 or whatever he is. So, yep. Left guard. I've heard some criticism of this one. Joel Benito. That's not how you say his name. That's how I always say it in my head. It's Batanio. The guy from Cleveland. What's his name?
Joel Batanio.
I've seen some criticism of this one. It's the same thing as wide receiver. I don't know off the top of my head who exactly I'd point to and be he deserves to be in over him, but good player. Same thing. I don't know if maybe he did enough to deserve that, but he's on the list. So congratulations. Right guard Zach Martin. Don't think there's much criticism there at all. I think he's had one of his best years in
I seen someone trying to argue it that
But who do you put over it is what I'm
saying.
That
guy, that Atlanta kid. What's his name?
Yeah,
Lindstrom.
Yeah, he had a good year. I don't think he was all pro.
I don't think that should be an argument. I think Zach Martin's better, but
I think Zach Martin's having a career year.
Yeah.
Just from what I've seen, I haven't watched every single play of his this year, obviously, but from what I've seen, I'm thinking he's having a career year.
Yeah.
Center Jason Kelce, there's probably no argument to that. I don't know who anybody else could point out and be like, yeah, he had a better year. I just saw a video of I don't know what game it was, the Cardinals game maybe. Them doing the Eagles doing the quarterback sneak on the goal line, and they're all celebrating and stuff they score, and in the background you just see Kelsey like high fives like Goddard, but he like the limp he's doing, like the waddle like a penguin he's doing, because he just rammed his head, into like he's the middle of that, like I would say more than deserving. Now out to the edge rushers. Joey Bosa, San Francisco, Mike Parsons, Dallas. I think that's the most spot
Nick
on
Bosa.
combination you can put together.
Nick Bosa.
Um, I've always said that I think Micah Parsons should straight up just be an edge rusher, um, all the time. But Bosa's having a career year, so like I said, no argument there. Interior lineman, I've seen a little bit of criticism in this. Chris Jones, Kansas City, Quinnen Williams, New York Jets. Obviously, Quinnen Williams was having a good year, got injured, couldn't finish the year, and the other side, Chris Jones, he's a bit more of a run stopper. At this point in his career, he hasn't done the outstanding, applying pressure that he used to do or hit the quarterbacks, but still very, very good. Um, but yeah, I've seen some criticism of this. I saw some biased Eagles fans saying that Javon Hargrave should be in there, and I would think the criticism to that is he doesn't play nearly as much as these other two do. He plays a lot. I mean, I think he is the number one D tackle now on
Uh,
the Eagles depth chart, but uh,
I have criticism on this. I'm not saying Javon Hargraves. I really don't know who I would put over Quentin Williams, but I know he fell off hard at the end of the year because he was on my fantasy team and he costed me a little
well, he
bit.
got hurt. Yeah, he
So,
got hurt.
yeah, but some of the games he played, I think one game he got me like 4 points. I think he had like 2 tackles. Yeah, you're not all pro if you're getting 2 tackles a game. Get him out of there. Somebody got to be better, more
Line
consistent.
linebackers. I have some criticism of this one that people probably don't agree with me. Linebackers: Fred Warner, Roquan Smith, and Matt Milano. My criticism is actually with Roquan Smith. Most people will probably point out Matt Milano, but I think Matt Milano is actually having like a career year in Buffalo. That guy just sticks people. Um, and he's been doing it at a high rate this year. I like another one. I don't know if I have a linebacker necessarily I put right over him right now, but if I did some research, I think Roquan has been great for Baltimore. But you got to remember, they have like 10 guys at linebacker. Now they are an injury prone squad and stuff, but like they have some incredible guys that have been there, like have done a lot of things. Like Jason Pierre-Paul's there. Who's the other guy I'm thinking of? The outside linebacker, older guy, Dolan. Um,
um,
I want to say he played for the Bucks, but that could be wrong. Anyway,
I don't know.
Justin Houston, that's who it is.
Oh yeah,
Justin Houston.
Houston's
Justin
Houston's
Houston
there.
has been having like he's like 35 and he's been having like some monster numbers in Baltimore the last 2 years. So like I'm just saying I think there's a lot of other places that you could look at and be um like Buffalo, like they don't have an all-star cast of linebackers. It's Tremaine who might be a little overrated, and then it's Matt Milano. And Matt Milano just like I said, he's all over the field at all. And I think Fred Warner, obviously, there's no argument there. That guy's a beast.
I know
Um,
I know you said you can't think of anybody really that you could put over Roquan.
uh,
I actually had 2 guys again on my fantasy team, so I kind of kept tabs on what they did.
yeah, cool.
Logan Wilson and Nick Bolton actually both had very good seasons.
Yeah,
So
and that's a good
I
point.
could probably make a case to put either one of them over
That's a
Roquan.
good point bringing up that because that makes me think now. I had Fred Warner, but my backup on the bench went crazy every week too, and I can't remember who it was. Oh, help me out, Dolan. Bucks linebacker. It's not the one you're probably thinking of.
Not Levante or
It's not
Devin White.
Levante. Who?
Devin White.
Yeah, it was Devin White. Yeah, and he went crazy on my bench like every week. I think
Gets a
he
lot of
might have
tackles.
missed a few games, but
I had Foyce Aluakon from the Jaguars, and he had a crazy year in the amount of
yeah.
tackles he had.
Like I said, I think there's a lot of people. I think Roquan was just there was big news. Yeah, he was doing good.
Big name.
He's had big plays for Baltimore.
And
this year.
their defense got a lot better once he got there. Like the first 4 or 5 games that he wasn't there, they were pretty bad, and then once he got there, they like started holding teams to a lot less points and a lot less yardage and all that.
Yeah. Let's move on. Cornerbacks, Sauce Gardner, Jets, Patrick Surtain the second, Denver. Don't think there's much argument there at all.
Those would be my two, 100%.
Sauce had an incredible year. Sauce is the
Yep.
I think he's the first rookie corner to ever make an all-pro team. He had an incredible year. And Pat Surtain, I think everybody saw that in him when he was at Alabama, so no surprise there. Safeties, I hate the names, man, names on this list. Minka, Pittsburgh. I think he really solidified himself as the new captain of that defense. Obviously, everybody looks at that and immediately thinks Cam Hayward, but I think Minka has been the guy for them this year. Even though he missed a game or two in the middle of the season, I still think he's been the guy. I think he's like the closest thing to Troy Polamalu that they'll ever have again. Put it that way. I'm not two different types of safeties, but from a beast standpoint. And then the other guy, the San Francisco guy, Talona, Hufanga, however the hell you say his name.
Hufanga.
Yeah, he had a good year. He had a
good year. I don't know if I'm putting him first team all pro, but he had a good year.
You know who I hate to give the credit to because I wanted him to sign in Philadelphia this offseason? Quandre Diggs had an incredible year in Seattle.
Yeah, he did.
And he got paid this offseason, and everybody looked at that contract and was like, yeah, they overpaid for him. And he had an incredible year. So, I think CJ Gardner-Johnson, obviously, probably if he didn't lacerate his kidney in
I was gonna say that
week 11, I think he probably could have made a push. He had a really good beginning of the season.
Well, I still think he's I don't know, but it was like week 14 or something I was looking at, and he was still tied for first with most picks in the league, and he already missed 3-4 games at that point.
Yeah, a couple of them were just kind of balls that got batted up, and he came down with them. Which they're still picks. They're still picks, but you should have.
Honestly, in that other safety spot, I probably would have put Justin Simmons. He had a crazy year.
He did have a crazy year in Denver too. Yeah. Place kicker Daniel Carlson. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with any of these. Punter Tommy Townsend. I don't know how the Chiefs punter possibly got picked because when do they ever punt? But kick returner Keyshawn Nixon, Green Bay. Punt returner Marcus Jones. Punt returner, that one's spot on. Kick returner, I think your boy Turpin could have had I think he could have had a claim.
If Turpin wouldn't have had so many the problem with him was he would take some balls out of the end zone that he shouldn't have, and then once or twice he didn't take a ball that he probably should have, and it ended up landing at the 7-yard line, and we got the ball there. That's probably the only reason why he didn't get picked there.
Special teamer Jeremy Reeves. That guy actually had a really good year. I forget, he just had a bunch of tackles on special teams for Washington, and long snapper Andrew DePluy. Roll into our picks right after the break here. So stay tuned, and we're gonna roll into our picks for the playoffs.
2 full meals, $5.99 each. Whopper Royal Crispy, 2 fries, 2 drinks. Double them up or mix and match. Whatever you want, we're into that. BK, have it your way.
Crazy. Alrighty, let's get into it. Playoff picks time, boys. Let's start Saturday. So this will be today when we're dropping this. So today's game, we started off with a NFC game. It's the 7th seed Seattle Seahawks. Try saying that one 4 times fast. At the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, the Niners were a wagon this season. The line is Seattle plus 9.5 for minus 110. Money line plus 390 Seattle, and the over-under is 42.5. You want to go ahead and kick us off here, Smitty? I know you've been on Seattle here and there a couple times this year.
Yeah. Well, that died in Germany when he got shit on by Tom Brady. But anyway, yeah.
A lot of things, a lot of hopes and dreams go to die.
Yeah. So I mean, I got the 49ers here. You could take the spread on them. So with the minus points, I don't think Seattle's even in a ballpark as good as team as San Fran is. So, Yeah, 49ers. That should be a quick pick me up, little motivation going into the next round.
Alrighty. How about you, Dawn? Anything different there?
Same thing.
Really?
Same thing.
See,
Yeah.
my thing is 9.5 points is a lot for a playoff.
It's a lot of points, but that
Now I
defense
think
is
I
insane.
do think I could be wrong, but I do think the Niners beat them by 2 scores last time they played them this year. So I don't know what to think here. I'm gonna take Seattle with the points. I think they lose the game, but I think some of those guys in Seattle have been around long enough to know that this is a backup quarterback, obviously playing like a stud, but Brock Purdy, on his first big stage, kind of. I mean, obviously played in a lot of crucial games this year, but big stage. I think they're gonna find ways to heat him up a little bit. Force 49ers make a few turnovers. I think the big testament is going to be, can they score? Can they finish drives? Can they get 7 instead of 3? Um, so who knows? I think Geno Smith may come out and ball. Nobody expected. They wrote him off this season. He's still waiting for him to right back. Or no, I think he's. What did he say, Smitty?
He said they wrote me off, but I didn't write back. But
Yeah.
he's
Well,
gonna be right.
I don't understand, why would you write back if they wrote him off? But yeah,
I don't know, but he's gonna be writing back because I know you said like for a playoff game, but did they really deserve to go to the playoffs? Like it had to come down to a game where Green Bay had to lose just for them to get in. So like if you couldn't just clean out, get in
yeah.
there.
But hold on. Actually, what would have happened was, I explained this on the last one, but I don't think you were there. What happened was, um, they would have tied the Packers and Seattle. That's why it was imperative that Seattle won the game. Now, you could look at it and be like, now, yeah, they were waiting, but the reason they were waiting was because if the Packers won and they tied Seattle, it went to like this decimal percentage that the Packers won more league NFC league games than Seattle.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
why.
but what I'm saying is, I mean, come on, they had to play. What the hell's up on my screen here? I think the Packers. I just look at it. I think the Packers did deserve. I think if you would have asked me who deserved to get in the playoffs between Seattle and the Packers, I think most people would have said Seattle.
Honestly, I think Washington probably deserved it more. They had a way tougher schedule.
Yeah, listen.
Get out of here, yo.
If Washington would have played Sam Howell the whole year, they might have got in.
Yeah, maybe.
Who's to know? Yeah. So that's our picks of the first game. These two got the Niners spread. I got Seattle to cover. The next game. Oh, I like this game. I really like this game. The other Saturday. What? These are both at what? Oh no,
No.
this is at 8 o'clock. That last one was at 4:30 Saturday. This
One's
one's at
early,
8 o'clock.
one's
Yeah, it's
late.
8 o'clock Saturday. Chargers at Jaguars. The Chargers are minus 2.5. Favorites on the road at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is plus 118 on the money line. The over under is 47.5. And I'm gonna go ahead right away. Give me the over. I know that's a lot of points, but I think both these teams are just gonna. I think they might extort all their offensive plays to win this game. I think both these teams get deep in the bag. Not much defense. I think these teams are just coming out to score. That's where I'm at on it. Give me the Jaguars plus 2.5 too. I don't like that, but at least if it's a 1 point game, I know in the back of my head I cover. But that's what I got on it. I don't know. I'm jagging off over here with the Jaguars down in Duval. I think the only thing that scares me about that is I think a lot of people are going to be on the Jaguars just because they're a feel good, story. What do you think about this game, Dolan?
I think the Jaguars are going to win, so I might as well take them with the points. I agree with you. I think the Chargers defense is bad. So I think that's a lot of points are going to be scored in this game. I mean, the Jaguars defense is a little better than that, but they still seem to fold sometimes. So give me the Jags with the points, and I'll take the over with you too.
What do you got, Smitty?
Give me the Jags straight up.
Money line plus 118.
Yep, give me the Jags straight up.
Like it.
I don't think either of the teams are particularly good. Uh, so yeah, basically, what the Chargers won a terrible division, and then the Jags snuck
No,
in.
no, no, no. The Chargers are a wild card. The Jags won a terrible.
Oh, the Jags won a terrible division. All right, and then the Chargers won the wild card. So I don't know, and I don't know. I've been with you all season. The Chargers, they're just not good. They're very inconsistent. So give me the Jags. I think they're a better overall team.
We talked a little bit earlier about if Mike McCarthy's on the hot seat going into a playoff game. I think Brandon Staley may be the head coach that's on the hot seat going into a playoff game, especially with the news that just came out that Mike Williams has a fracture in his back and he won't play again this year. And on a screenplay that they threw to him in a meaningless Week 18 game that they couldn't have moved up or down. I think that's gonna. I think he was already kind of on the hot seat, for not really taking them up a notch this year, even though they did make the playoffs. Um, but I think that's kind of something we have to look at going through this game too. So we're all kind of on the Jags here. Me and Dalton got the spread, and Smitty's on the money line. Me and Dalton also have the over of 47.5. On to Sunday's games, AFC matchup. Miami Dolphins at Buffalo Bills. The Dolphins with Skylar Thompson, their third stringer, set to start, are plus 13.5 in Buffalo. Plus 660 on the money line for Miami, and the over-under is 43.5. This is not the greatest way to start it off, so I might have to, hit a button there on myself. But I'm flipping it. I was gonna take Miami with the points, but give me Buffalo to cover all that. Buffalo in a freaking rout. Buffalo.
Are you ready?
Yeah, this is what we want Buffalo this weekend. This is what's happening. Buffalo is gonna run all over the Miami Dolphins. I don't think you really need to. I watched that whole Jets game last week. I watched that whole Miami versus New York game.
I don't know how you did that.
It was fascinating. It was a fascinating game. A battle. It was 3-0. I think at half or something like that. It was a crazy game. It was. I don't think there was a touchdown toward the game. Oh yeah. On the fucking. Oh no, it was a safety at the end. Yeah, it was a safety. It wasn't the. Yeah, so I don't know. But one thing I do know, Buffalo in a rout. They're getting all their guys back. They have all this momentum right now. If DeMar Hamlin is on the jumbotron before the game, like a live feed or something, give me -20. Give me -30. I think at some point like this year with all the shit that's gone on in Buffalo, I think at some point that team's just gonna snap. Kind of reminiscing of the game last year against the Patriots in the first round, where it was negative. I was there. It was negative 14 degrees. The Bills scored on every freaking drive. I think they're just going to be unstoppable in the first round. Kind of a reboot performance. What do you think, Smitty?
Let me just quick give you a little tip here. Your mic gets kind of quiet when you go like back away from it, so I'd probably stay a little closer, just so people could hear you. But
I tuned it up a little bit.
All right, yeah, there you go. But what'd you say the over under was? 43?
Over under 43. Yeah. Now I was thinking
the
the same. Hold on. I was thinking the same thing, but what if Miami lays an egg? Like, what if the Bills win this game like 30-3?
I mean, I could see it, but realistically, Tyreek Hill's on Miami, and if they get the ball to him, I think he's gonna break one.
Tyreek had a quad injury last game, missed a lot of the game. He came back in the end, but he wasn't Tyreek.
Yeah, but a week off, he should be all right with a quad injury. I think he's bound to break at least one, so that's like 7 right from Miami. Jalen Waddle could also get free. They're both very fast guys, and then I think Buffalo, the DeMar Hamlin. It's written in the NFL script. They're going to go out there and they're going to put points on the board. They're going to be unstoppable for a little bit here.
So if you think they're going to carry that, why don't you think they'll cover 13.5? Would be my rebuttal to that.
Well, I just think the over is going to be easier to hit.
Just a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dalton?
Yeah, I'll take Buffalo. I'll take Buffalo minus 13.5. I'd probably go with the under though. I think that Miami Dolphins offense is ruined with no quarterback in it. That like their run game's not good when they don't have a legit quarterback. Everyone's just gonna stack the box. I just think Buffalo's gonna just destroy them.
I think we lost Smitty.
Oh, Smitty, where'd you go?
But his all right, he's back. Yeah. So Smitty has the over. Dalton has the under. I'll stay neutral on this one. Stay neutral. Um, and we'll move along here. We'll move right into the next game, an NFC matchup. We have the New York Football Giants traveling to Minnesota to play the Vikings. The Giants are 3-point dogs, minus 114. The over under is 48.5, and the Giants are plus 132 on the money line. If this over under wasn't the highest one in the playoffs, I would hammer it. But I think just because like it's set so much, I mean the only other one that's close is that 47 or on the Chargers Jags game. This one scares me because I think there's a chance that these teams kind of offset, play a little defense. So I'm gonna stay away from that, even though I'm itching. I'm itching to get another over on this board. I only got 2 more games. So, whew. What do you have on this, Smitty? Give me some help here.
Hold on. So, what the Giants are getting points, right?
The Giants are getting 3.
3. Give me the Giants money line because I don't know the game, but they just played 2 weeks ago. It was an important game, so we both got to see them in an important game. The Vikings definitely were trying as hard as they could because they wanted that number 2 seed.
And there was that didn't they blow or was there a lead blown in that game too? Wasn't Minnesota down and came back?
I don't recall fully, but I know that the Vikings won by a late field goal, and I think the Giants could go out there and just beat them straight up. I think both teams are kind of like evenly matched in my eyes. Kind of frauds on the season, but not terrible like some of the other teams that were in the NFC. So, yeah, give me the Giants straight up money line.
Alrighty. What do you have about this game, Dawn?
This is the hardest game I think, because I think it's going to be the best game we see, but give me the Vikings money line.
Vikings money line minus 158.
What time is this game played? 4:30.
Yeah, this is the 4:30 game Sunday.
Yeah, I'll take Kirk at 4:30.
That's tough. He's really didn't give me anything. He's both went opposite. I think, man, this is tough. Oh, man. Am I going to have to take the over 48.5?
No.
I might.
No. No.
It's tough. That's a tough one. Man, I'm sweating this one out. Gotta focus here.
Gotta focus.
Oh, I don't see it getting that high because the only way the Giants are scoring if it's Saquon, and I don't see him getting all those points.
Give me the Giants plus 132. That's where I'm at with it. So me and Smitty on the Giants, Dalton's on 4:30. Kirk Cousins. Let's go to the next one here. Sunday at 8:00. We got Baltimore with Tyler Huntley starting at quarterback, I believe, traveling to Cincinnati. They just played last week. The Ravens are getting 8.5 points with a backup quarterback, plus 360 on the money line. The over/under is 40.5. I think this is the easiest over of the week. I think it's not even going to be close. I think the Bengals may put up close to 40 points on their own. I think they could put up 35 in this game and walk away from it.
What was the over/under?
40.5.
40.5. Okay.
I'm taking the over on this right off the bat, and I'm going to take the Bengals to cover minus 8.5. Obviously, big on the Bengals. Over here, what do you have, Dolan?
Yeah, I'm big on the Bengals too. I'll take the Bengals with the points. I'm going to stay away from. No, give me the over. That's not a lot of points. And Jamar Chase has a son named Marlon, so I think we're going to see a lot of that.
How about you, Smitty?
This is actually a bad sign from us. So something crazy is probably going to happen because I'm taking the Bengals with to minus points and Marlon is taking over. So you know what that means. Ravens are going to go out there and win the game, but yeah, I think it's stupid not to.
Bengals.
It's stupid not to just because the Ravens obviously they're not as good without Lamar, and there's a lot of internal affairs there. That organization's not in a good spot right now. So
I agree with that.
yeah, they're just they're going to go out there. To them, it's just another game, but to the Bengals, their Super Bowl hopes are on the line here. So they're going to go out there, gonna run it up, and get some momentum to go into the next week.
Alrighty, let's move into the Monday night game. The Monday night game. The Dallas Cowboys, America's team, traveling to face America's quarterback, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Thomas, Edward, Patrick, Brady Jr. You're lucky I didn't put a voice effect on this.
I think we needed one.
I'll do it again. Ready? I'll put that really. Wait, should I put the alien one on?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he is an alien.
Thomas, Edward, Patrick, Reed, Jr., and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, so Dallas is 2.5-point favorites right now. Minus 132 on the money line. Over under is 45.5. I think this line is totally going to change and fluctuate all throughout the weekend. So I wouldn't expect anything less than to look at it maybe Monday morning and see either like Dallas is 3.5 now, or Dallas is only 1.5. I think the over under might fluctuate too. I think this might drop as low as 41.5 before the game. If it does, I would snag it at 41.5. I'm going to stay away from it though at 45. I think that's right ballpark. I think it's going to end up being like a 42-point game. With that being said, maybe a little bit of a stunner here off the bat, but I'm taking Dallas to cover, and I don't even think it's close. I kind of ranted about this before, kids. I don't think this is your typical Bucs team. Obviously, Tom Brady is still Tom Brady. So he's the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. But I think they're on like the third string center. Like they've had problems all year, injuries everywhere. I cannot see how Dallas doesn't win this game. I really don't. I think they just have to get back to doing what they're good at, running the ball, mix in some play actions, let Dak run an open boot, right, and hit, Dalton Schultz or CeeDee Lamb somewhere across the middle of the field, and, just ride it out, play some defense. Obviously, just what is there flashy about the Buccaneers offense right now? I mean, Mike Evans has had big spurts. He hasn't had a great season, but he's had big spurts this year. Yeah, big spurts. I see what you're doing down there, Schmitty. Good one. Yeah, big spurts. Funny, real funny. I'll give you one for that year. But honest to God, I think if they could just lock down Mike Evans, I think, and get a D-Law and Micah going early, I think it's really should be wrapped up, and I think Dallas should probably win by a touchdown. That's just what I have with it. What do you think, Smitty? Because I know you'll probably be on the opposite side.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucs straight up, and now I do think Dallas is the better team, but they're known for choking in the playoffs. Obviously, that's why everybody makes fun of them. Dak's not a good QB in my eyes. I mean, I guess I could call him a good one,
that is insane.
But and then it's Tom Brady, and what does he? Dalton would know as a Cowboys fan. What is
7-0.
Tom Brady's record against you? 7-0. 7-0. I don't see him losing.
4-0 as a Buck.
Yeah, I don't see him losing now. I think he's going to go in there. He can motivate his guys in the locker room very well to play above their level of play, and I think he can go out here and it's the playoffs. This is where he comes around. So he's going to go out there and he's going to have his team get it done. And Dallas is going to go home first round exit again.
Is that where we're at with it?
Yeah, that's it. First round exit.
All right, go ahead, Dalton. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I'll take Dallas with the points. I think so. Week 1 last year, Brady beats us there. Week 1 this year, Brady beats us at home. I think there's too much revenge they have to get back in this game, and I think the big stage is just going to bring. I think it's going to be a great game. It's going to bring the best out of both teams, but I think that the Bucks have a lot more to overcome than even Dallas does, even though Dallas is playing on the road.
A lot of talking in this game too. Mike Evans talking about how Diggs didn't travel with them the last time, but the first time he traveled. So we'll see what Diggs wants to pull out of the bag this time.
I bet you Diggs probably travels with him.
Well, he better, because Tom's throwing that bad boy to him.
He don't want him to travel with him. Last time he traveled with him, he got held to 3 catches for 21 yards.
Hey, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, personally, I think that you have to travel with him in this game. Who's Dallas lining up at the other side right now?
Lost my back.
Yo, you know who it's going to be? There's a lot of rumors coming out in Dallas this week that Xavier Rhodes is starting opposite Trayvon Diggs this week. 32-year-old Xavier Rhodes. Rhodes are going to be close.
Oh,
baby.
I did see that they signed him off Buffalo's practice squad. I did see that this week.
Yeah, but he we signed him like 3 weeks ago. He hasn't done anything yet. Like he wasn't active for the last 2 games, but apparently Dan Quinn's been very impressed with him. And I mean, honestly, like you guys are probably thinking 32-year-old washed ass Xavier Rhodes, but like Trayvon Mullen got cooked. Nashawn Wright got cooked.
Hey,
Kelvin
you
Joseph
only
got
need him.
cooked.
It's like that Toby Keith thing. It's like, I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm good once as I ever was.
he
I'm
just
giving
needs
myself a clap for that.
He just needs to. He just needs to not. I don't know. He just needs to not give up something big, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Does not stink.
Yeah, just don't stink. Easy.
Just don't, yeah,
You know?
easy. Alrighty, well, that's where we're at with it.
Yeah. Before we go, let me get it in here early. Eagles Bills Super Bowl. Eagles win. Let's just get it in there early.
Just firing shots off right now like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
that. Well,
I just want it on record. I just want it on record.
You have anything you want on record right now, Dalton?
No.
Alrighty.
He doesn't pick the Cowboys. He's got to wait till they get past Tom.
That's where we'll leave it. All right.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that. I was gonna say something, but just leave it at that.
Alrighty. Well, that's where we'll wrap it up.
Smitty almost got me to say something there.
We'll catch you next week.
AFC pick.
What do you mean?
AFC
Super
pick
Bowl?
for the Super Bowl.
Who's gonna go to the Super Bowl in the AFC? You don't got to pick NFC.
Chiefs.
All right.
I would say Chiefs Philly Super Bowl. That would be
DeMar Hamlin all the way. It's in the script.
That's my nightmare scenario. Even more than playing Brady in the Super Bowl, I don't want to play Andy Reid in the Super Bowl. God, that guy basically at this point invented this generation of Philadelphia football. So I don't want to see it, but that's where we'll leave it. We'll wrap it up. This has been another episode of Pick Fiends, and we will catch you next week for the next round of the playoffs. Hopefully, some more NFL news.